Liz, it's the worst day since October 26th. And now you have another big name seller of mega cap tech. Mark Zuckerberg filing to sell $185 million of Meta shares in November. That is the first time in a couple of years. This follows Bezos, remember, selling millions of Amazon shares November 15th and the 16th. That was $240 million. NVIDIA insiders selling or filing to sell. That according to Bloomberg. So is tech too toppy?
Well, maybe they have big purchases to make. I mean, we don't really know what the motivation is. They want to take some gains. I've thought that tech was toppy all year. So I think the answer to that for me right now is yes, but I'm not going to ignore the fact that the market has been strong and that this rally has been almost unrelenting. So we're at a time where I think you don't necessarily fight it. It probably exhausts itself. I don't know that today is the beginning of that exhaustion, but as rates have come down, it's given a lot of steam to this rally. It's given a lot of steam to growth stocks, and that may continue as we sit in this I don't know period between are we going to have more contraction in the economy? Are we going to see a time when rate cuts come closer into view? They continue to come closer into view, but are rate cuts going to actually cause a problem, which honestly is usually the case?
Weiss, you own Meta and Amazon. It is notable that Zuckerberg's selling for the first time in 2 years. The Bezos number, which was reported, was $240 million, though Faber reported at the time that it could end up being a lot more than that. It just raises the issue with the NVIDIA thing, too, because NVIDIA is up 209% year to date. Meta's up 162. Now, Amazon's up 71. So those are the three best performing of the mega cap names year to date. And it just makes us wonder whether these stocks have gotten too toppy, whether they're too rich. Their valuations are dramatically ahead of not only the equal weight S&P, but the S&P 500 itself. How would you address that?
Well, you do have to sit up and take notice when they sell it. And then you go and look, and I went and I looked at Zuckerberg's holdings today. It's a pimple. It's really nothing. He's got so much more stock there that you can't blame them. You never know why they're selling. He's actually very charitable, has a big foundation, so maybe he's doing that to fund the foundation. I don't know. But it is something you think about. Stocks have had huge runs. I really don't care what they've done versus the market. All I care is what are the fundamentals and what is the valuation. Now, when I take a look at what the valuation is on Microsoft, you can make the case that's a little stretched. However, in what is likely a disinflationary environment, in a company that's growing top line where they are and bottom line at greater than 20%, then what do you pay for that? So I have the choice, and Sarat and I were talking about this.
Because you both own those two stocks.
Right. So do I sell it and pay taxes knowing that I believe that they've got lots more products to occur? Unless I think there's going to be a major correction, the stock's permanently broken, or do I hold on to it and weather the volatility? I've decided to hold on, weather the volatility. Sometimes I do sell calls against it. Sometimes I do buy puts. But overall, I like it long-term as I do Meta. Meta's not as expensive, but it's had a nice move in its valuation. Also, they're growing nicely. So, look, if Zuckerberg came out and sold all of it and retired, that'd be one thing, but that's not the case.
You know, Sarat, Meta's valuation, its forward PE is 24 times. Amazon's 49 times. It's the richest of the group. Now, traditionally, it's been by far the richest of the group. So it's not some new phenomenon that Amazon is trading at 49 times where the overall S&P 500 is at 19 or the equal weight is at 15. Nonetheless, there are those such as John Rogers, the famed value investor who told me down in D.C. last week that he thinks mega cap stocks are primed to pull back.
Yeah, and look, they are primed to pull back, but you also get diversification, and that's kind of what we always talk about is, you know, Zuckerberg at some point said, hey, I've got too much of this. I didn't sell when the stock was more than half of where it is. So we look at it the same way. When the stock becomes too big over your portfolio and you've had a great run, there are other opportunities to deploy it. Now, that's the question, and I think it's the right thing to do, and we've been doing it all year long and been wrong.